Greetings, our viewers. Welcome to the #1 online channel, Echoto. I am your host, Walter, taking you through this session. Our guest today is Musiri David, a well-known personality for his achievements. He's a student activist. He was also one of those that wanted the March India West Member of Parliament, which the National Unity Platform gave the card to Honorable Sewanyana Alan, and Honorable Musiri accepted and went with the decision of the party. It's an honor to have a personality who has consumed himself to the light, to light the society. Thank you for accepting our invitation, Honorable Musiri. This is Echoto TV. Say hello to the viewers.
Yes, hello viewers of Choto, #1 TV we know. First, I have a very big background and history with the Choto. Right from Fismas 4 struggle, the strike that we had here, that almost took on the junta,
Yes.
the dictator Museveni, in 2019. It was the people of Choto that actually got me out of my dead bed, where I was slumbering every time, and I couldn't make it. Though I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but there is a list of things that, a series of activities that we have tried to put up. Actually, we have staged a very good fight. I can't measure this fight, but I'm so honored to be hosted today. The people of Echoto, you guys in the diaspora, you are so great in our lives as the foot soldiers right here on the ground. Why I call myself a foot soldier? Because that is who I am, exactly. I am a very honored foot soldier.
Mr. Musiri, just after the concluded general elections in Uganda on 18th January 2021, we had news that you were abducted. I think it was a Monday night, all over social media, and people were like, Musiri bamutute, Musiri bamukude, Musiri bambuzizao. How was it? Give us an insight of how it happened.
Actually, I have a bad history about 18th. It was actually 18th of, I think, was it December?
Yeah.
In the saga that happened. Actually, it was a very bad saga. It was a bad experience.
18th November.
Of Uruuka.
Yeah,
I was
November.
Yes. It was the day I was shot by a rubber bullet. You can imagine. Now, 18th January. It was a very tough day. To me, it is a nightmare. It has created a lot of repercussions from that day. That sometimes, and those who are my friends, I used to actually to stay alone, but these days I make sure at least I have someone around me at night. Some of the boys come and sleep over, just because it changed a lot of things in my life. I started getting a lot of nightmares just because of that day, 18th.
Mr. Musiri, the viewers want to know, you are in the car. Were you in your house? Where were you when you were abducted? How did these people come?
Actually, the story started 7 days before. After getting a lot of calls. One, I got a call from Kampala Metropolitan Commander. It was not the first time he called me Mr. Kapel. He once called me when they had we had a graduation ceremony here at Makerere University. But this time around, they were calling me, and several officers calling me to go and report myself to either police station or to CPS or to Chibuli. Now, I started hiding like all other comrades of ours that started hiding. I had hid myself for over 6 days. Then on 14th, that was the election day.
Yes.
Little did I know that the world was calm because I was hiding. Received a call from Honorable Zake, and he was like, man, I thought we would not make it to voting, but even when you are hiding, please go and vote because the world is so calm, everyone is going to vote. And indeed, when I got out, I just went to where I was supposed to vote from. And I found the place was so calm. I actually expected to see military because I am a resident of March, India, and I vote from March, India. I didn't see any. I saw none, just like all other people. But now, I think this is how they got to know now how to trace me physically. Because however much I tried to crowd my face, with face mask, with the hat, with the glasses, I think that was not enough. I went back to my hideout and I started seeing signals, people coming to my hideout place, which is actually supposed to be safe house. Because where they drag and beat up people, roll them and throw them to safe houses. They are not safe houses, but in real sense, they are safe houses where you can be safe from being hurt. Instead, this regime of the junta turned the safe houses into torture chambers. Otherwise, on 18th, I had come around March, India, just to meet a few colleagues at night in dark. Of course, we had a lot of other plans. I cannot just, I think that is sacred for us. But as we were talking around, we had a very good conversation and we had a deal put on the table. Then I had to go back to my hideout. But on my way, I stopped around this, it is called Petro City in March, India. Petro City is opposite Shell. Now, Petro City is where my elder brother called Kalibala works from. Then Shell is where there is a shop that works 24 hours that I had gone to pick a drink. Actually, it was Minute Maid, orange. I can't forget because I only got it and I didn't even had a chance of even opening it. So these places are just opposite military. But this is where we have grown up. This is where we always do our activities from. And as much as I knew that I was wanted and I was hunted, of course I didn't fear so much because some of us even at one time studied inside the military. There is a school actually where most of my hobbies went to. So just as I was walking out from this Shell to Shell, not now Petro City, I crossed from Petro City coming to Shell. I had a few colleagues. I actually had two colleagues. A driver that was driving us to the next destination, and a colleague that I used to move with. It's called Kasaga. So I walked out of the car going to get this drink, only to realize I saw 6 guns pointing at me like this, just as I was stepping out of this supermarket at that Shell. Now, it was very unfortunate. I think it was just like stage fright. I shivered. It has never happened to me because me to realize that there were 6. Actually, I was told there were only 6 people, but I knew I was maybe
a battalion.
It was actually a battalion or something even beyond a battalion, because everywhere I would see someone. Because these were guys dressed in plain clothes with masks. Actually, you couldn't see anyone with mask, no even tags. Even if they had tags, name tags, I think I would not be able to see them. But they aggressive approached me. These other, I don't know how they came and twisted my hands. I don't know how they came and twisted my hands behind. I remember when I screamed, because the first thing they holded, it was the hands. The second things they holded, it was the balls. Now I screamed so much when someone was trickling them. See, these are heartless people. I tried to call whatever name I could. It wasn't possible. At a certain time, I couldn't speak so much, so loud, because someone grabbed my neck. My hands were already tied up. They got me around. It was a small car. I was told after it that it was a Primo, but at first I thought it was a Mark X. In that formation, this time around it wasn't a drone. Now they got me into the trunk of the boot of the car for I think a few seconds. Then they got me inside. But where they fixed me, they never allowed me to sit like this. Actually, there is a space between this front seat and the behind seat, but that space there, I was pushed and I fitted there. By all means, I had to fit there. And these guys, others lay on your legs, others do what. But as they are doing that, the person I met inside, I think these people had about 2 cars, because not all of them entered. These other people just fixed me there, but there were already other people inside there that didn't move out. So these injected me. One injected me here, down here, and I lost my consciousness. Then, but I had a second injection. Then I blacked off. They drove me, they blindfolded me, because by the time I woke up, I was already blindfolded. I was blindfolded for, I think, 2 nights. By the time I realized it was 2 nights, I think I had thought maybe I had stayed there a month, because, of course, the eyes were very painful. They had swollen up. I had a terrible experience. Where I was put, I was actually put in a go down. But of course, the whole day, the whole night, because you can't know whether it is day or night, but you could hear people yelling, someone crying for them, for their lives. Some person, when they hear someone at least walking in or walking out, some people desperately come out and say, please, I am so and so. If you get justice or if you get freedom, go and tell them, just in Uganda. And most people speak in the local language, Uganda mostly. Zegundi, Zemukasa, Wofuluma, Bazjagundi. So people, and the next thing you can hear is them being slapped. I was not so much beaten inside, apart from this kind of assault and the brutalness that they actually handled me brutally and fixed me, kicked me. Then when I was, they were pulling me out of the car again, because that one was, I think I had got back my consciousness. Again, they injected me the second time. So after the second day, there is a time when I was taken for interrogation. I was interrogated on the second day. So when they were taking me for interrogation, of course, they had this. They blindfolded me, but again they added. I think, is it a veil something? It's just like a cloth. They just put a cloth that covers up around here. So they took me for interrogation. First they thought I had diarrhea forms for His Excellency Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi, because that is the first question. Where are the diarrhea forms of the president? Because the second question was, what are you planning to do after election? Because they had thought we had something bigger, mega, for this nation Uganda after elections, or within the elections, or on the election day, or before elections. So it was more of much question is about that. Third question was about Tibuhaburwa himself. Of course, that comes when I had already done whatever I did, going to quest for fire inspection of Tibuhaburwa 7. That fire they used to nominate him on 2nd November. So they were asking me, who am I? Ask for the president. Actually, someone do slap you because as if you have annoyed him, as if you've hurt him, as if you have done something very, 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 very. I can't express how they feel, because these are guys who do anything, either to please their above, the so-called above. But through the interrogation, as they were taking me back into this cell, because we had a big, these are they are called isolations. They are like 3, but there is a time when they opened my eyes, I saw them, they were like 3. But there is this other, how do I call it? It is not a cell, but if it was prison, it would be a ward. So they are like wards, like how you see in the hospitals, whereby you can have private rooms, then you have the ward where everyone goes. So in the ward there were very, very many people. Some could be treated, and you could see every time they could punch them with a lot of painkillers. Now after, as we were concluding that interrogation, someone comes and knew me, says, "Honorable, what are you doing here?" But this person comes in layer without a name, and you cannot tell whether I was a military officer or a police officer or from same eye. But then when he told me honorable, then of course I couldn't speak. I was already, there is a time I reached and I thought, I think I'm done. I'm done with life. They kill me, let them kill me. Then he's the guy who said, his case is not for here. Let him be taken to Chibuli for more investigations. That was on the 2nd day. But I'm telling you, when they took me back, I thought I would go out that very day. But it took me more 2 years, more 2 days. Now, as I was waiting in that room,
sorry, Honorable, to interrupt you.
Yes.
Were you able to identify the gentleman who came and called you and said, "Honorable, what are you doing here"?
No, I never got this guy, because of course I know his face. Now when you bring him, I can tell that this is the guy. But as I told you, as he was in layer, he never had like a name tag. This is a guy who is very dark either. Of course, he might not be from around Central, but the mere fact that he had identified me as honorable, I think maybe he saw me somewhere. Oh, there are even residents in Machindi. I can figure that out. Yeah. So what was the worst moment is when I wanted to go for like a long call. The guy said, if here you want to go for a long call, if here you want to go for a long call, you must do everything there. And once you do them there, you must eat them. It is a very terrible experience. I was lucky enough that by the time I was taken in, I had not eaten much. But whoever did it, you could at least eat a piece of it. This is terrible. And these are like predators. They are not like humans. Because as I told you, someone, I don't know where they get their hunger. As if you were a murderer, or even a murderer can be excused. But I think terribly you can compare someone who has just killed your brother, and you the elder brother, to execute the mission, execute that person, just like mob justice happens. So that day, I said that was the third day in my room where I was. First, all those days I was kept there alone. I brought in more 5 guys. It is a very small space, very small space. Literally, you need, for you to feel like comfortable, you need to stand. But of course, as you know, I always have this problem of this leg. During this abduction, my leg was hurt. I have always had the bladder problem just from Makerere, Fismas fall strike. It was still again affected. So I would urinate, but urinate mixed urine and blood. And I think one of the guys saw that and he got scared. And since I was not so much strong and there was no feeding, apart from, there is a guy who was merciful and brought me porridge. 4 days. I left when I didn't have balance. After opening my eyes for only 30 minutes, again they blindfolded me. Up to the 4th day, I was blindfolded. For those who saw me at the beginning, they saw my eyes were swollen, actually, and so red. Now, it was an evening. On the 4th day, this guy came back, the very person. And this is what tricked my mind and trickled my thinking was, I think they get one person who happens to act godly and good.
Yeah.
So this very person comes back and is like quarreling with the other people. I told you that guy was supposed to go to Chibuli. Why is he still here? And he was like giving some orders around. So that very evening, they got me. It was around, I remember it was around 4, and they got me out. But when they had blindfolded me, got me into the car, drove me up to Chibuli, CID headquarters, dropped me there. Now, of course, they never just dropped me, but they gave me these other CIDs. So this CID attended to me. Of course, I had collapsed. The last thing I saw when they were dropping me is just putting me on the veranda like that. I had to sleep there for I don't know how many hours. They refused to put me in the cells in the night. I spent all my night around the reception, and everyone was wondering why I was there. Before they've started border to drop me home or drop me to any nearby hospital, I think they failed, because I could hear these conversations as much as I was weak. Early in the morning, this other very person, one who was from Machin, came to Chibuli. The other police guy, the one who was in Leia, the CID, hurried up, got stamps, got me police bond. They never asked me for, this is I think the second time that I was given a state bond, not a police bond. Now, the other one was asking him, how do we help him to reach home? Or drop him to hospital? Or drop him anywhere? Of course, these guys, one wanted to give me the patrol, actually to drop me in the hospital. I said, no, I can get somewhere to go home. I can get some help to go home. So what I did, as much as I was so powerless, but I'm telling you, when you are in trouble, sometime there is a way you get energized. I walked out of, on foot, I walked out of that headquarters. Chibuli headquarters. I remember reaching the Tamaka Road. But from there, I only realized when I was again at Machin, at the petrol city where my brother works.
Honorable, I remember, I think it was 19th January, the day after you were abducted. News broke on social media that your elder brother Kenneth was also whisked away.
Yes.
Is he free? Has he been freed yet?
Yeah, he got his freedom, I think, just last week.
Oh.
Just last week. Actually, me, I was abducted not knowing that he was taken. I actually never knew whether it was me first to be that was abducted before him, or, but for him, his story is very terrible. He was taken up to Chireka. He asked him a lot of things, and this is I can tell you, this is a very innocent guy. He's very innocent. He only joined People Power because I was there. He only could actually, because he was the only person that had a car, and he was so much close to me. So he used to give me like lifts to Kamocha, lifts to Magere, lifts to like. Actually, he got so much involved during Zake's scenario. More so from Chirudu, driving to Mitiana Court, getting him from Chirudu, going to Rubaga Hospital. That is how he got involved. And this is a guy who does not live in a position. He's not a politician. He's just my brother, my relative. He was tortured. He was driven. Actually, that is when I realized that my brother was also taken. Because when they dropped me, a certain one of my guys around there, he tells me, even your brother is missing. So that is how we got to know about it. We started following it, and literally for him was taken to Chireka. Later was dropped in one of the, I think if you heard of the two guys, I think there were like three guys, that they were driven and dropped to Masaka. Masaka down there.
Yes.
Yeah, in the wetlands of Masaka. That is where he was dropped.
It's a sad experience.
And he also narrates a story of the same, asking him whether he knew of the plans, asking him whether he had any DRA form, whether there is something he knows. So,
Plan B.
yeah. So it is quite unfortunate that even our relatives, but of course me, I already put my family into trouble just because of me as one, even from Makerere here, when we had a strike. Again, my family got involved. At the end of the day, my dad died when I was in sales here in Wandegea. That is where news found me actually, that my dad had passed away. After seeing the video that was trending, and saw how nasty this regime was, and the way they brutalized me, the way they applied all the injustices on students. Of course, as one of the freedom fighter, he never survived that because he had pressure.
Sorry about that, comrade. Today, the principal of the National Unity Platform, Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, ordered his lawyers to withdraw the election petition against General Tibuhaburwa Yoweri Museveni. As a member of the National Unity Platform, what's your say on the withdrawal of the petition?
I think just like one of the guys that really truly believe in His Excellency Robert Ssentamu Kyagulanyi, I think the wisdom he uses is just God sent. He did the right thing at the right time in the right place. Because what is the reason for us to be in court at whatsoever cost? But going to courts of law, I still supported him. As we all said, we have only one plan, which is plan A. And whatever we do, it's just like he said, it is just an episode. Every day we walk towards removing the dictator. It's just in life that every day that passes, that surpasses, you grow near to your grave. It's simple. So, I am just 100% behind him and I support him. It is a tragedy actually that we are in those courts. Uganda is a failed state. It is very unfortunate that our regime and as a generation, we are seeing all things running berserk in the hands of our elders in this nation, Uganda. This is where I am, and this is a place of history. Just like the arenas of long time ago. I watched the games of arenas in the arena. It is only in the arena that gods are made. The demigods, the real demigods are made in the arena. So here we come, we have a lot of people that we know, and we have always recited this. One of the meteorite, who is our rat, Mr. Sejusa, Afande Sejusa, is one of them. He was here at Makerere University. He left Makerere and joined the Gorilla War. This time around, we are only telling them we are withdrawing our petition and we are bringing it to the Court of Justice that we believe in. And this is the public court. Today as we speak, the Minister of Security, General Eri Tumwine, he's a boy of Gongom from Lumumba. He's a Lumumbist from Lumumba. And those are guys that left, just like I think it was Katagaya who said that history does not repeat itself, but it is foolish people that repeat this history. But I'm telling you, I think it is only one chance that Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi has brought to us, that has given us one other opportunity, that history will be written and we shall be remembered. That at a given time X, just like this, that we also left Makerere University and we had our petition to the public. Simple. We are non-violent, and as for one, by the way, let me tell you, as for one, I believe, I so much, those years ago, I so much believed in violence as one. I believed so much that you can have a panga, you cut someone, simple. But I have had a few lessons from His Excellency Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi, alias A.K. Bobby Wine. There is a lot that we have learned from him. That's why I say he's God chosen, he's God sent. And maybe every time we do, he's doing the right thing at the right time, in the right place. Some of us now who have left behind the minds of being violent people. We want to be non-violent. I once believed in people like Malcolm X, who always say that it is either ballot or bullet. But when we look at King Martin Luther Jr., he has the opposite of Malcolm X, we all know. But at one time he reaches a position and he says, just like he recited, that at the end of the day, we shall not blame our enemies, but the silence of our friends. You know why he recited that? It's just like today in Uganda, we must recite that so much, that we shall not always grumble, we shall not always lament. Just like our Excellency said, the book of lamentation should be closed and the book of Acts should be open. But we cannot keep on lamenting because about military, about police, about these abductions. Actually, these abductions and kidnaps are on a point of being a catalyst of the struggle. most of the people, just like I always talk about my brother from Tunisia, the boy who started the revolution in the West African countries, the guy who burnt himself on the street. I want to tell you, my brother Walter, this was not the first guy to burn himself on the street. He was not the first person to be buried by the junta. Just like here we buried Senteza Kajubi. We buried the Rita Nabu Kenyas. A lot of more people can die, but there is always one person. You never know, that might be me or you or Bobby Wine or Zake or Louis or Joel that can spark off the revolution. Just like I think you watched in America during COVID, Americans were dying. There was one Freud that was killed. That person who died calling and crying out to the people, and these words were so touching. I can't breathe. Mama, I can't breathe. He was not the first black American that such injustices happened. So they had killed a lot of people, but there is always one. So we believe, as we said, this is an episode. There are no regrets whatsoever case. There are no regrets. We are ready to listen to our president and the commander-in-chief currently. Us as the foot soldiers, as I started, we are so ready and so vibrant. We are young. Thank you.
Mr. Musiri, as we come to a conclusion of our show, I want you to talk and send a message to Ugandans out there. Recently, I saw the day when Honorable Kyagulanyi went to the UN human rights offices. I saw many families, many people, many mothers crying. Their children are nowhere to be seen, and the security forces have continued to say some they don't have them, some they do have them but have refused to produce them to court. I want you to send them a brief message in a language that most of them understand, which is Luganda.
Yeah, but before we go to Uganda, I think I want to make this clear. There are a few lucky people like us that have been into incarceration for only a few days. There are those who have stayed months. There are those who have stayed years, like Chibalama. It is now 2 years, I think. So abduction has not just started now. It started a long time ago. And with us, from when we were a movement of people power up to when we are a party and the ruling party soon. So I know there are a lot of our comrades that are in thousands, those that cameras have never seen. At least why I was saying that we are lucky, just like when I was in the military, for someone to come and say, Honorable, what are you doing here? As if you brought yourself there, as if you put yourself into, to put yourself under incarceration, as if you have done whatever they did. But of course that is all trying to, I think, initiate you to another process. But njagala okubabuulira baganda bange nti nga bwe twogedde nti buli kigwa, so bino ebintu bigenda byeddamu bwezi, wabula kino kirina kutukuŋŋaanyiza wamu, ng'omuganda wagamba nti agali owamu ge galuma ennyama. Era omuganda agamba nti ekiri atabaala kyekirya naawe akoze eki, asigadde ewaka. So gwe teweeyibaala nti olw'okubanga kituufu bannaffe bavaayo ne balaaja nakati ng'olunaku pulezidenti waffe lwe yatwala ebiwandiiko ku UN, kituufu bannaffe babakutte bangi, naye bano abasigadde nga bakyali tebannaba bakwata, bo balowooza tebagenda kukwatibwa. No one can predict the future. Tewali wayinza kuteebereza budde ki obuddako. Olwaleero wooli oba olwaleero nze enkya osobola okubeera ki gwe. Bwe tunaategeera nga tuli bannayuganda ne tumanya nti olwaleero bakutte gundi, naye sikoma bukomi ku kugenda kumuwandiikako, kugenda kuteekayo kifaananyi, nina okwakitinga. Bwe tuba tusazeewo ffenna abantu nga 10 ne tugamba peacefully ne tugamba nti tusazeewo tuzze kwekalakasa mu mirembe tewali ayinza tukuba ku mukono bannaffe abali mu makanisa eyo bo balowooza nti ebyabwe bikola ki bannaffe abali mu makanisa eyo bo balowooza nti ekyabwe be bali mu gavumenti nderooza olaba tebasumba baffe bo bagenda bugenzi kwebazaani mwami Museveni so njagala nze okugumya bannaffe bwenna abaafiirwako abantu baabwe nti bannaffe abo ffe tukkiriza nti tebagenda kubanga bafiiridde bwemage era ne bannaffe abagenda abaawambibwa abamu tuyinza obutasobola kubajjayo saawa eno kubanga nze omusajja bwe baali banta baŋŋamba nti kati Museveni kaatambudde ojjukira ndowooza mujjukira incidence eyo nti kati Museveni kaatambudde n'ava ewaabwe n'ajja n'atuuka paka ne ku City Square katugenda kutandika okubata and that was after that day the next day I was released nga bagamba nti twali tutegese okukyankalanya okutambulako ekitegeera ngenda okubeeraawo nga ne Selector David bamuta ngenda okubeeraawo abantu bangi babatadde Ken bamutadde kwegamba bangi naye njagala okubabuulira nti waliwo be batagenda kuta olw'ensonga nti abaana bano kitaabwe tewaliwo n'abanoonyerezaako nze at least nalinako n'abazungu abayingira mu nsonga zange Solidarity Uganda feel defenders at least nalina abantu be nali nkolaganyeko nabo university neyingiramu njagala okubabuulira era nze we nali eyo era bannaffe abaliyo nti gwe muna Uganda kopostinga ne wobeera eri munda bakubuulira nze nali eri nga bambuulira nti ekiri ku social media tokimanyi Girudi president we Makerere agambye wabuze tokimanyi campus B nayo yawandiise okimanyi gundi bwati yawandiise so tetugwamu maanyi fe abawandiika naye njagala okubabuulira ti waliwo abantu abamu abatagenda kusobola kuvaayo naye nga tugenda kusobola kubajjayo nga tuwangudde kubanga era newetuvaayo newondaba wano era tukyali mu buki mu buwambe kisinga byonna tufungize engoye zaffe tuveeyo ekikulu kya byonna okumanya nti twenunudde nga tuggyeko nakyemalira mwami Museveni kyekyokka kyetusobola okuwa bannayuganda kyekyokka kyetusobola okuwa bannaffe bonna abali eyo ate we tubeera ffe nga tuli mu bukulembeze bwe tukimanyi nti buli omu ajja kufuluma bagenda kufuluma nga ba heroes bagenda kufuluma nga balina ebyokukola ekitegeera nga bwe nabagamba nga nesimbawo era ensonga lwaki navaayo nenkonsidinga oba nenyimirira emabega wooya yawangula si lwakuba nti namwagala nnyo si lwakuba nti mwagala in fact nali nva namukomera era natuuka kukola ekikolwa ekyo kyali kya buzira nga gyendi ne mu kyalo waliwo bannanga bagenda bakola propaganda nti bamuwadde miliyoni 2 tibamuwadde oli n'ayogera 5 ne balumba famire ne bagamba mwe mwatuliddemu olukwe ne baganda bange baali bagenda okulonda mu kulonda wennyini ng'abantu babagamba mwe mwatulyamu olukwe naye ng'ate n'omuntu gwe twaviiramu si kumuviiramu buvizi omuntu ono yafuna kaadi ne bagimuwa nga tebagiwadde nze gwali mutima mulungi kuyimirira na kibiina ne ŋŋamba nti ekibiina we wano we tuyimiridde njagala okubabuulira bannayuganda ekisinga obukulu kyonna si bifo bino tewali mubaka wa palamenti agenda kukola nga Museveni ye president bagenda kubeerayo just kulya ku nsimbi nakutambulatambulako naye ekikulu kya byonna kulwanirira kufuna gavumenti yaffe gavumenti empya temumanyi kwesiima kusobola kubeerawo nga tuli mu gavumenti empya nzo newenva nze nabagamba nti nze newe bampa bwa ambasada newe bampa bwa komishona kimala olwaliro gwe ne bakutwala bukwazi ne bagamba gomanyi gavumenti emirimu emipya gyesobola okujja nakyo omanyi bwe tusobola okusakira n'okulobinga tulobingira abantu baffe ne batasobola kudda kyekimu so omuntu yena atunuulira obufo omuntu yena atunuulira okulwanirira erinnya lyokka nti nze nwanirira ono omuntu wange nga tannabakulabika sigenda kubeegattako kubanga waliwo n'abagwamu amaanyi tikati batuwamba kati tugwemu amaanyi era newebatakuwambe era newotaveeyo bajja kuwamba njagala okumaliza nga mbagambe ebigambo bino ebyomugenzi Kirumira. Mugenzi Kirumira yayogera ebigambo bino siribyerabira lunaku olwo yayingira mu bamu ku basajja abagezigezi bwe yagamba nti bw'oyogera bajja kutta naye ne bw'otayogere bajja kutta lwakirireka bakutte ng'okoze eki ng'oyogedde muganda wange ali eyo lwakiri ofe ng'olinawo ky'okoze naye tujja kubeera mu kwesiima singa ffenna tutambulira wamu ebyafaayo birijja ne bitwogerako naffe ku mulembe gwaffe nga buno obusajja bwe bubeera eyo bakayihula by the way kayihula kati wano eyo gy'olaba eyo micho mwe mwava basejjusa bakayihura bava eno wano wenkubye omugongo wali Northcote kati wali Nkuruma waliwo Nkuruma waliwo n'Ensibirwa kati Kayihura yali mu Nsibirwa Mugisha Muntu yali mu Nsibirwa Nyakayirima yali mu Nkuruma abo bonna bava mu Northcote oli nkugambye eri tumwine yava wali ku Lumumba owali Gongomu era mundowooza mumuwulira nga bamuyiseko wane Makerere okwogera ku bintu bino abantu abamu bonna ate bava wano ne balyoka bayingira ki ensiko kati abasajja abamu nga ba Nobo Mayombo abagenda ne balwana bali tebamaliriza bwe bava mu nsiko ne bakomawo wano naye bali abalala abeeyita ba historicals bava wano ne bagenda muki kati naffe twagala tuve wano tutwale ekkooti mu maaso gammwe mu maaso g'abantu tuyimirire wamu tubeere ne president tumuwagire ekiba kibe oyo atera okyogera bamuyita Kabuye Boston njagala okwebaza abantu abamu babeera ku kyoto nina abantu benjagala ennyo mbawulira nga bamukale baalingako ne bavaako ne Faziru musajja asomesa bulungi bambi Faziru kwali ye Faziru nkutumidde kimanyi ojja kukalaba kano Patricia Sewungu oyo no yajja n'akikwata namu wano ye yajja n'okulonda n'alonda ate n'akola ki n'akakuuma bannaffe bangi abaliko waliwo muganda wange yalinga Saudi Arabia bamuyitaani yali so bambi yanwanira nnyo ku lw'e Makerere mwerabidde Hamza Sale Swale musajja wange nnyo ekyoto kino nno kyekyasooka okuntwala mu ddwaliro kyekyasooka okunzijanjaba baideni ng'eddoboozi ono yakola eddoboozi lya gundi Subuga yajja okutunoonya so ekyoto nina nakyo history w'amaanyi era wenafuluma nawulira nti ekyoto kyekyasooka okufulumya amawulire nga bankutte ate ekyoto mu bavubuka era we nali mu kalulu k'abavubuka n'okuwangula akavubuka ako okuwangula akalulu ako ekyoto era kyekyanzijja mu militale si gwe guno gwe gusoose okumpamba militale yampamba mu kalulu k'abavubuka awo wennyini emakindye naye era ne bambuuza ani ono yawandiise eggulire lino ku kyoto sebo olw'ekyoto ekyoto kyafukamiza abamilitale omwogezi wa militale najja nayagala okunkozesa nveeyo ŋŋambe nti kale bampisiza bulungi mbu bansonyiye mbu nange nabasonyiye neŋŋaana kibadde kyoto ab'ekyoto banaye wangaale nga nfudu namwena abagikulirako Mukulu Woota nkwebaza nnyo ne bannaffe ba Sama Uganda tuza Sama Uganda akyakolerako mbebaza nnyo era nsabira ne muganda wange mutalya kati ali Kitalya ne bannaffe abalala bonna era tumanyi nze manyi kyebayitamu ekitalya tera okuwuliziganyako n'abasirikale kubanga we navaayo nalekayo ligase eyo bampitaho nale busebu natuuka nempamba jukira gye nakumiramu omuliro neyanza nnyo neyanzeege bimunyinza obutasobola kubinyumya bingi ebyaliyo bingi ebintu byebyali mu militale bingi bye baatukola ne bye baakola abalala bingi simanyi nakumanya n'ebirala oluusi mbeera awo n'ojjukira nti nekino nakyo baakinkola musajja ajjaawo nga tolina kyomunyiizizza n'akuteeka oluumu olwokyano mu nnyindo okitegeera naye nga neyanza nnyo.
Thank you for accepting our invitation, Mr. Musiri. To our viewers, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, Echoto TV. Like and follow our Facebook page, Echoto Reloaded, and visit our website, www.echoto.co.uk, for the latest updates.